Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Females Thriving Over 30 podcast. Today, we're talking about something that I'm very familiar with, and I'm sure everybody is who is listening to this if you are over the age of 30. And that is the fact that are we the burnout generation? So, we're going to dive into that in depth. We've got some answers from people talking about all the things that they find being over 30 and how it might burn them out and all the things they avoid. But first of all, let's just see how we're both doing. So, Soraya, how are you?
Good. I'm recovering from my surgery. So I had just had my second endometriosis surgery. This was a bit unexpected, but I had 5 centimeters endometrioma on my left ovary. And it was causing me, as I said, like in previous episodes, right? Like I was been in pain since January, like having to take painkillers, like 4 or 5 a day, because I was in so much pain. So while I was here in Spain, I got the chance to be able to have my surgery. So I had my surgery last Thursday when the last episode came out, which was great for me to keep me entertained in the hospital after I came out of my anesthesia. And I am recovering well. Like, look, this is my little, well, they're not scars yet. They're getting healed. But if you are listening to this, maybe go to our TikTok or our Instagram to see this if we managed to put it in there.
So, did you have a similar thing? Because you've had it before, right? Do
Yeah.
they go in at the same places, or has it been different this
Yes.
time?
So it's because of that you can see. So that one over there
Yes.
is one of
Yeah.
the old ones, right? So then they
Yeah.
did, last time they did 5 holes. So this time
Okay.
they've only done 4. So they've done it on
Yeah.
top of the other ones. And they made them a little bit bigger so they could just sew them a little bit like tighter to try to
Yeah.
see if they can heal better and they can be less visible. So yes, I did it through laparoscopy. So basically they did, in this case, 4 holes in my belly to put
Hmm.
air in my belly and just make it like
Right.
big and blow it up so they can just get the tools
Hmm.
in and start like getting things out. And
Hmm.
I don't know why, for some reason I thought this endometrioma that I had was like on top of my ovary, and it was just a matter of like removing that layer that was on top of it,
Yeah.
but it's inside. So they had to
Oh,
open my ovary, like
right.
slice it,
Hmm.
take everything out, and now my ovary is trying to close itself and regenerate, which to me
Right.
it's amazing, but also
Yeah.
so scary.
Yeah, I feel like anytime that, so I personally haven't had any sort of surgery, but obviously with my dad, when he had his open heart surgery,
That's more
you
scary.
just like, well, but you just think though, like, I've always been scared of surgeries, but then when you see what's possible and
Mm,
what they are able to do and how our bodies heal themselves, it's amazing. Like the fact that
yeah.
you've had that done and you're sat here now, it's like not
Yeah.
even a week after your surgery, and you're just going about your day and your body's healing itself is an amazing thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm supposed to be on full rest until
Oh,
Thursday. Supposed to be doing nothing. But the thing is, like, my doctors are so good. They did it in a way like
mm,
I have only had to take painkillers the first and the second day. Then
wow.
I'm fine. I'm not having any pain, which in a way is
Mhm.
bad because then I don't remember that I had surgery and I'm trying to do
Mhm.
things that I
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing. And then I'm like, it's painful already.
Yeah.
I cannot do things like that.
Yeah.
I think the hardest part is like I cannot pick up my nephew right now. And I
Yeah.
just feel like
Yeah.
I just want to hold him so badly because every time I
Yeah.
see him, he's just like lunches at me and then he cries because I
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
pick him up. And I feel like so
Oh.
bad. But
Yeah.
yes, I'm now able to bend a little bit, but not all the way down. So if something falls to the floor,
Okay.
it stays there.
You just need a couple of everything that you need for the day. Just so
Yeah.
if you drop anything, you just leave it there. Let someone else deal with it.
Exactly. So yeah, that's been my week basically. Recovering from my surgery. I really wish they will film every time that you're coming out of surgery because there's so many things that they told me, and I'm like, did we really talk about these things? I do not recall a
Yeah.
thing. And I'm pretty sure they were hilarious. We should have done a podcast from
Next
the
time you
hospital
have
bed.
anything done, let me
Woohoo!
know, and we'll do an episode straight after, and you can give us your feedback on how everything went.
How have you been?
Yeah, I've been all right, thank you. But you're still in Spain, aren't you? So here it's been boiling hot this week,
Here
like
too. It's
boiling hot.
34 degrees right now.
Wow. Okay. Well, it's not been that
That's
hot here,
why,
but it's been hot for the UK.
like, I've tried to look a little bit nice today for the podcast, and I just like try to do my hair, and look, it's already like doing whatever it wants because I'm like sweating everywhere, and I have the little fan in here.
Yeah. Well, I've been on a little bit of a run. That's why my hair is up like this.
Oh my god, you're so brave! You're so brave for
Yeah.
running.
I'm on a little bit of a health kick, so I went out of my room before this. So I've literally like reapplied, changed my. Obviously, I had a quick like shower because it's boiling hot. Changed my lipstick, like put some extra lipstick on. Literally, I've got like a t-shirt on, and then I've got like little shorts down here because
Mhm.
like I wanted to look presentable on top, but then
Yeah.
I'm in my like tiny comfy shorts because it's so hot.
Uh, I mean, like, I just wish I could just be naked here, but it's not appropriate. So,
Yeah.
because literally I'm so hot, and then my belly button is like sweating right now from like being sitting down, bent a little bit, all of the surgery things that is in there.
Oh,
The heat,
yeah.
it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
Yeah, we might get taken off YouTube if we do an episode like that. It's not really what this is about.
We'll have to put it on OnlyFans. That's our way to get sponsors. Well, I'm so excited for this topic. For all the listeners, like a few months from now, we were start looking into what topics we were going to be talking about, and lots of the topics that we discuss are usually things that I see a lot of like TikTok or things like pop up. And I don't know, I literally don't know how this pop up in my feed. I don't know if maybe I was complaining about something and then this pop up, but I saw a book called Can't Even How Millennials Became the Burnout Generation. And I was like, ooh, this sounds interesting. So I started looking more into it, and I was like, yes, we need to discuss this because I'm pretty sure I am not the only one feeling like this. I know that you have been talking, and you did a post lately about how you're now living more of a slow life and stuff, which I guess it's coming from the burnout
Yeah.
that we feel, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, let's do this topic. And then let's also ask our listeners a couple of questions that we will be answering through the podcast, I think, instead of like
Yeah.
doing all at the same time. Let's just maybe
Yeah.
get it in there. So the woman that wrote this book is called Anne Helen Peterson, and I think she was a journalist from BuzzFeed, and I
Okay.
think was before the pandemic. She did an article about, are millennials burnout? Is it, are we burnout because of the things that our past generations have kind of like instilled in us? And then she did this book. So why do you think that we are the burnout generation of all of the generations?
That's a good question, and a question that I've not really considered why it's our generation specifically
Because it's not
that
just
seem to.
work burnout, okay?
Hmm.
This is burnout in every single aspect of our lives.
Hmm.
Okay? So it's not
Yeah.
just confining to, I'm burnout at work. No,
Yeah.
it's everything, right?
I wonder if it's to do with the fact that we are the first generation that really had like social media. I know we always
Mm.
get onto this topic, but I'm
Yeah.
wondering whether because we're maybe the most connected. Like I think back to when you know how we always say we've struggled at times to say no to things
Mm,
when people ask us or we take on too much is because everybody has access to us all of the time. Whereas if
mm-hmm.
I think to like when my mum was young, if you wanted to like ring and arrange to see somebody or to ask them a question, you'd have to ring their house phone, right, and rely on the fact that they're
Yeah.
going to be at home, or like arrange a time that you're going to ring from the post box, not the post box, the telephone box,
Yes.
or whatever. Arrange a time to meet, and then
Mm-hmm.
you rely on the fact that you're going to meet them there at that time. So like naturally people didn't have that much access to you and you could only do so much because you could
Mm-hmm.
only do things within the
Yeah.
means of what you had, whereas now like we're so connected that it's almost like we're expected to be on all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like back then you couldn't earn money from your phone. Like now it's like you should be earning money from your phone all
Yeah.
day, every day while
Like
you're
hustle,
laying on a
hustle.
beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you should just be like there's just the whole mentality of is different, and I think we've lost some of those like slower parts of life along the way.
Mm. Yeah. 100%. I mean, as you said, like we mentioned social media, technology in general, right?
Mhm.
In most of the episodes that we do, because I feel like that is like a big chunk of the reason why we are the way we
Mhm.
are, in a good way, but also in not such a good way, right? I also feel that, and it's things that I'm seeing as well now with the generations after ours and future generations. I feel like the generation before always tries to instill in the next generation certain things that they didn't have or they didn't like
Mhm.
growing up.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Yeah.
for me when I was growing up, it was like you need to study, you need to have a degree,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
need to earn a certain amount of money.
Mhm.
When you reach 30, you need to already have a house, you need to have a baby, you need to already have to be married. So they
Mhm.
put like a lot of things
Yeah.
into kind of like our path of life that
Mhm.
I think in a
Yeah.
way is making us feel anxious, feel like we're never reaching that, and makes
Mhm.
us tired of living,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, I think there's like this whole, I definitely had it more so growing up. So around the time, so if anyone doesn't know, I actually had really bad anxiety in my early kind of 20s, which is a lot of what I do now stems from that period of my life, and a lot of the
Mhm.
reason why I talk about things that I talk about and all of that. And I think a big part of that was about me being a perfectionist and feeling like I had to be the best and achieve the
Mhm.
best in absolutely every single part of life, which is not sustainable
Mm-mm.
long term, and eventually led to me being just like completely overwhelmed. And I think at the time when I was speaking to somebody about it, so like a counselor type situation, they made me really reflect on what I wanted and what I wanted to achieve,
Mhm.
and to stop trying to achieve what I thought I needed to, or what I
Yes.
thought would make other people happy. So it's like, oh, if I do really well in my degree, my parents will be really proud, or
Mm.
whatever outside things are making you feel that way, and to actually reflect on what you care about.
Mhm.
And I still forget this loads of times throughout my life, and I have to bring myself back to it. And that's something I'm doing at the moment,
Yeah.
like trying to think to myself, like, what do I actually want? What makes me happy?
Mhm.
And what am I doing for? Maybe I think I'm doing it for myself, but maybe there's other underlying things that are making me think that is what I want. And
Yeah.
maybe that's not true, because we're
Yeah.
fed so much information all the time about what we should want.
Absolutely. Because I mean, this is kind of like for all our listeners, right? Like, so did you grow up with that saying or being told, like, you can be anything, you can achieve anything, and then you're going to achieve everything that you set your mind to? And no one
Mm-hmm.
really warned you about, like, the cost of trying to
Mm-hmm.
do everything and to reach everything by certain age, right?
Yeah.
So we have one of the reasons that we have this podcast is to show that reaching 30 doesn't mean like you're not going to be able to achieve anything else that people told you have to achieve before 30, right? We still
Mm-hmm.
have plenty of time. We're trying to break that cycle. We're starting to understand now, as you said, is that what I want? Or is that like something that someone put on me and I thought that's
Mm-hmm.
my reality and that's what I should do? And to know the fact that you can change your mind at any point and that that doesn't mean that you're not going to achieve it just because you are in your 40s or in your 50s, you know, you're still able to do that. But up until the point that you realize that everything that's going into your mind makes you exhausted. And sometimes I'm thinking, how are we still looking so young? Because we should be looking really old by the amount of cortisol that we have in our
Yeah.
system from this anxiety.
Yeah, that is, you know what, that is so true, because there's definitely periods of my life where I've realized on a certain point, like, wow, like I've been living in fight or flight. Like I've been living in a state of adrenaline for like a months at a time. And I think like what? Like we shouldn't be in that sort of like response, that like anxious, like fight or flight response on a daily basis. That's not normal.
No, it's absolutely not normal. And in a way, what you've mentioned before, right? The technology, so not just social media, but technology in general, right? It has not allowed us to set boundaries
Hmm.
to, like, I don't know. I'm pretty sure like my dad used to work. Yes, maybe he worked a little bit later, like 7, 8 p.m. maybe, but then he came home, forget about work until 9 a.m. the next day, right?
Hmm.
Now, you finish work, you come back, and you can check your emails on your phone, or
Hmm.
anybody can reach you, or you have the Teams app on your phone and you can answer a message or whatever. And when's that too much? And how can we break, like put those boundaries there and say, like, okay, I'm not going to look at my phone after a certain time because I can't.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm on my phone all the time, not on emails and things like that, right? But I
Hmm.
struggle to not have my phone stuck to my hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that, and that's something that I've been really trying um to be better at as well, because life is what's happening around you, right? And obviously we know that, but it doesn't make it's like a habit, it's a bad habit that it's hard to break. And yeah, I think I've been really trying to think about times to switch off. I
Mm-hmm.
actually saw something, it's like a brick. I don't know if you've seen this. Is it called block or brick? There's like this little square thing that you can buy that you can put somewhere in your house, and when you tap your phone on it, it
Oh,
locks your apps.
the
Have you seen
apps,
one of
not the
these?
phone, just the apps.
Just the apps, so you can
Oh.
choose. You like set up the is it
Mm-hmm.
brick or I can't remember what it's called, but there's something it's like a little square thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you set up the settings when you buy it, so you can decide which apps on your phone it's going to block.
Mm-hmm.
So the ones that you would look at and waste time on,
Yeah.
basically, I suppose. You
Yeah.
pick all of those, and then you tap your phone against it. It blocks off all of those apps. I think there's like emergency use to certain apps. If you're blocking something that you might obviously
Mm-hmm.
need, you can
And is that
access
for a
it
certain amount of time or?
until you tap back on.
Oh, okay.
So you tap
That's
it to
dangerous. I
block,
will be
tap
like,
it to unblock.
boop, oops, oops, tap and tap, tap and tap.
But yeah, I found that just being on my phone, it contributes to loads of things that I'm trying to stop, like online shopping. I'm actually trying to declutter all of my clothes. I'm trying to just have a minimal
Mm-hmm.
wardrobe. I don't want to keep buying things that I
Yeah.
don't need. Um, when I'm on my phone, naturally, you end up shopping, you end up doing what you just end up doing all
Yeah.
sorts of things that you don't need to,
Yeah.
right? Like, yeah, you just like impulse buy the stuff. So, yeah, it's something that I'm really trying to do. But I think it's something that's happening more now, but maybe because we were in the generation where like the internet came into play a lot
Yeah.
more, it was like this exciting new thing, and there wasn't so much restriction around it. Like if you just think, like when I was a teenager, the websites that we would go on, like
Yeah.
chat roulette or whatever it's called, where there's random people off from around the world just popping up, and you just like have
Mm-hmm.
access to you when you're a teenager. It's very, very strange. Like that would never happen nowadays, or at least I hope it wouldn't happen. So now I think there's just a lot more awareness, and
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people now talking about setting those boundaries and taking a step
Mm-hmm.
back
Yeah.
from their phones. So I think there's probably, hopefully, a movement happening now, which is a good
Yeah.
step forward, where we're normalizing not being attached to our phones
Yeah.
and not expecting quick responses from people and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. I used to be very burnout at work, and this was like 2018 or something like that, or 2017. Don't remember. And I remember then I made the decision of like literally removing my work email account from my Outlook app.
Hmm.
I didn't get
Yeah.
any notifications. So whenever I was going in to check my personal emails, I didn't
Hmm.
see notification because if
Yeah.
I see, you get into my phone and you won't see any notifications. I cannot have any notifications. If I see numbers
I'm the
in there, I
opposite.
need to open it. It's just giving me anxiety. It needs to be clear, right? So I removed the app from like the account from the app on my phone, and I was like, okay, at 6 p.m. I close. Whatever thing happens, I'll solve it the next day. And then I
Mm-hmm.
literally remove notifications from all my
Yeah.
apps, right? So if I want to see something, I will just come to my phone, open Instagram or whatever, and then see the notifications there,
Yeah.
or open WhatsApp to see what messages do I have in there. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm usually like checking it often, but I don't
Yeah.
have the bling 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 bling,
Okay.
because for me, seeing that, I couldn't ignore it. I'm like,
Yeah.
so everything needs to be clean. My inbox needs to be clean. Everything needs to be organized.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
literally have had to do that. And then lately, when I have been in so much pain because of my endometriosis, many
Mm-hmm.
times I was not able to be in front of my computer, sitting down and working, or laying down with my computer
Yeah.
and working, because my ovaries is in my belly. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't put anything on top of it because it was painful.
Yeah.
So I was using my phone a lot. So like my Teams app was on my phone, so I could just like keep communicating with my team. My email, I have it now in a browser, like Google
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Chrome. So I don't see notifications either. But I have been working a lot from my phone this year, so I could
Mm-hmm.
just like be laying down until like the painkillers were making effect. Because at the beginning, painkillers
Mm-hmm.
were like, yeah, boom, taking the painkillers, go ahead. But obviously, as your body gets used to it, it was taking me
Mm-hmm.
like an hour and a half until the painkiller kicked in. And now
Yeah.
I'm starting to feel again that burnout. So I need to
Mm-hmm.
remove all of that from my phone and start again.
Yeah.
Clean slate.
Are you ready for a bit of like secondhand anxiety from my phone?
Ooh,
Okay.
oh,
I need to sort this out because this is not good. My messages, 102 unread text messages.
text. Who texts you so much?
They're all just
276.
spam. This is why I've not opened
Oh,
it. Like, no, because these are just old. So this is
yeah.
just like, but this is
So you can just do
why,
like a mass delete, right?
yeah.
Select
But
all,
things,
delete.
I miss things because obviously, like, there's always, so like, literally, I've got the little thing that says 202 on there. My email says 29,258
What?
unread.
29,000. That's the amount of photos I have. What?
29.
Jasmine, I'm sweating. Extra sweats right now and coming down my cleavage.
Eight on Messenger, 3 on Facebook. They're not that bad,
Well,
but
then I have
there's
to say, guys,
notifications all over.
I feel privileged that you answer my messages.
This is why sometimes I think people don't believe me if sometimes like, I literally miss a message, but this is what like it is chaos on there. Like I just actually got an upgrade, so this is my old phone. I need to
Yeah. How can you
transfer
live
everything
with
on my new phone.
29,000 message email?
When I get onto my new phone, I'm gonna clear it out. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
But
be like, these are gonna be
question,
zeros.
those
Yeah.
29,000 emails, it's just like junk,
Mm.
like those, when
Yeah.
you just subscribe to
Yeah. It's
things.
junk. Yeah, it's
Then why
junk.
don't you do a rule so it goes straight to your bin? I'll
That's what
help
I
you.
should
Next time I
do.
see you,
That's what I should.
I'll organize
That's
your emails.
Thank you. That's what I should do. But like I guess I do check my emails every day. So I just
Yeah.
scroll through what's there, and if there's
Mhm.
something that I can tell is not junk that I need to respond to, I do see it and pick
Yeah.
it up. But I don't like the fact that all those notifications are there. Like I have a
Yeah.
system. It's
Yeah.
not the most effective system.
Should we just go through one of the questions that we
Yes.
put on the podcast? We on the podcast on
Yeah.
Instagram? Okay.
Yeah.
You go. Tell us, what was the first question, or select one of the questions.
Okay, so what's a simple adult task you constantly put off because you're too burned out? Are
Mm-hmm.
we ready?
Yeah.
We've got replying to emails. We can see that might be a
Yeah.
problem for me.
29,000.
Calling people back, sending nice gifts, washing my hair. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Sometimes, this is so refreshing because sometimes you do think it's just you, don't you? Like
Yeah.
sometimes I think like there's a week where it's like, oh, I literally can't even be bothered to just do the thing, like a small thing like that. And then I sometimes think to myself, like, why am I like this? Because no one else would find this difficult.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
so refreshing to hear other
yeah.
people.
No, clearly. Like anything that
Yeah.
has to do with you, like even sometimes I'm just thinking, I need to get changed. I need to put on my pajamas
Mm.
to get into bed.
Mm-hmm.
Why can I not
Yeah.
be like Sabrina, the teenage witch, and
Yeah.
just do this? And I'm dressed and in bed already. Like I don't
Yeah.
have the willpower to
Yeah.
do anything. I'm too tired. So
And
washing
this
my
is,
hair is too much of an effort.
yeah. Well, this, just thinking about it, this is the dangerous thing with like only having content that's polished and perfect and not.
Mm,
That's why this podcast is needed, and we're talking about things like this because it's so natural to
yeah. And we're looking, you see clearly?
compare. Yeah, yeah, me too. We're looking to, like, quite often we'll compare with what we think other people are like. So I
Mm-hmm.
would think like, oh, everyone else is like doesn't find these things difficult, and why do I find them difficult? And it's actually
Yeah.
totally normal, and lots of people feel the same,
Hmm.
which is refreshing to know.
The hair thing, I think it's not so much about you getting into the shower to wash your hair, because I think
Mhm.
sometimes, a shower helps. I think it's the
Mhm.
drying your hair after. That's
Yeah.
such a chore.
Yeah.
Even if you have
Like
short
no.
hair. Men don't do that.
Yeah. I mean, no joke. It takes me at least 15 to 20 minutes to
Yeah.
brush my hair after a shower, because my hair, I think with the bleach as well, and because my hair's
Mm,
so long, it's just like so tangled
yeah.
that I have to sit with a tangle teaser and start from the very bottom and
Yeah.
like brush all of it layer by layer by like it is exhausting. And
Yeah.
there's the times, like sometimes I'm so lazy after I've been in the shower, I'm so tired, I just think, oh, I'll just stick it in a low button and sort it in the morning, and then, oh no, it's just not, I
Yeah.
have to wash my hair again to even
Yeah.
try and brush it.
Yeah. Yeah, because then if you dry your hair, like you have to do that. And then ideally you should dry it. That's going to take you as
Yeah.
well, like maybe another
Yeah.
20 minutes. Your
Yeah.
arms hurt. You're already
Yeah.
like, my soul has left my body already.
Yeah.
Why I'm not a Kardashian that I can have someone just like,
Yeah.
Chris Appleton, please come and do my hair every day. I don't need to wash it. You can just like dry it for me. I cannot handle doing that by myself. And at some point, I put on nano hair extensions
Mhm.
for my last bodybuilding show. And with that, you cannot let your hair air dry. You need to dry it. Otherwise, obviously, they're going to last less
Yeah.
time and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I will never, ever again get nano extensions or any permanent extensions, just because I refuse to deal with having to dry my hair every time I wash.
I remember, so I've had hair extensions once when I was like, maybe I was about 20, and I had sewn in weft. So there was like, they were sewn in
Mm.
and things throughout my hair, and they were fairly thick. And again, they were just, even just to wash as well, because you have to like lift each extension and wash in between everything. No way.
Oh,
I'm far too low maintenance to ever do
no.
that again.
No, 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 no. Is there any other thing that people might have mentioned?
Filling up my car with petrol, which is one that I 100% agree with.
Mm-hmm.
I will
Wouldn't
drive
be
until my
nice
car is screaming. Me.
you have to push it to the petrol station. But wouldn't it be nice? Like there used to be that, is it like the milkman that used to just bring you milk to the front of your house or
Mhm.
something like that?
Yeah.
Why don't they do like someone that comes to people's houses and just like fill in their cars with petrol? So they have like a tank for diesel, a tank for petrol. They just go through the houses and you say like, yes, please. And then just put it in. You
You need
pay with your card and that's it. And you don't have to take it. Isn't that a great
you need
business
to go on
idea?
you need to go on Dragon's Den with that. I'm sign me up. When can you deliver?
Yeah. Right? It would be great.
Yeah. Yeah, I need that. And you can just have like a subscription service.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we used to have a house with a tank outside where we, like an oil tank, and
Oh, yeah.
that's because we lived on a farm. So my husband would check it and see how much we had
Mm-hmm.
left, and I'd have to order,
Yeah.
and then they'd come and fill the big tank. and then you'd obviously use it until you were checking if you needed more, and then you would order some more.
Yeah.
Like,
But then same
how
thing
much,
for cars.
yeah, it would be so much simpler to be able to do
Yeah.
that, because I feel like you've got a bit more control over, like, you
Hmm.
can fill it at home,
Yeah.
you can like order in bulk, which would probably be a bit
Yes.
cheaper to get it
Yeah.
filled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Like many times, I am like, I don't want to get dressed to go to the petrol station
Yeah.
to put petrol
Yeah.
to my car,
Hmm.
right? If my
Yeah.
mom sees me the way that I go put petrol in my car sometimes, she will be mortified because I'm just like, sorry, no, I'm not going anywhere right now.
Yeah.
The next time that I'm going to pick up the car is when I need the petrol, which is going to be tomorrow. But I don't really want to leave earlier and wake up earlier to go put petrol in my car. So I should really do it now. But I don't want to get dressed. I'm too tired because of life.
See, for me, there's only one thing worse than if I'm like that and I'm going to get fuel, and that is if I'm like on my way to or from a pageant event where I'm like
In a gown.
completely done up, and I'm like either in a gown or I'm in like a mini, like a little dress and like
Yeah.
heeled boots, and I come trotting out of my car filling up
Yeah.
the fuel. Like, that's actually worse for me. Like, I'd rather be in
With the
like
pink curls.
joggers. Yeah. And you had to kind of like, oh,
Hello.
hi. I don't know why my personality does change when I'm like, oh, hello.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, yeah, the previous generation has given us certain things to aspire to that
Mhm.
were too difficult to do in such short amount of time. Like jobs, right? Like you
Mhm.
need to get a certain job or it needs to be a
Yeah.
good job. And in order to get a good job, you need to be in a company for many years and you need to like slowly go up and then you need to be able to reach here
Mhm.
and you need to reach to earn this much because I didn't earn that much when I was your age, but now you have the education and you're supposed to be,
Mhm.
you know, earning more.
Yeah.
And it gets you like that kind of like, okay, I have this job, but I'm not getting the money I should. So maybe I need to have a side hustle to be
Yeah.
able to get this. And that's not enough. And then, as you said, like, oh, now everybody can make money from their phone. So I'm just going to add this as well.
Mhm.
And it's too exhausting. And then at the end of
Yeah.
the day, I don't think that makes you happy.
Yeah. My husband is actually very wise when it comes to these sort of things, and
Okay,
he always
give
tries
us
to,
the wisdom.
well, he always just tries to tell me, like, honestly, I think he always says, "I told you so," ages later, because he's always correct about it at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when there's things like, if there's something that I really enjoy, or
Mm-hmm.
I'm naturally like this, but it's obviously something that's been ingrained with me over time. But I'm like, oh, like, for example, recently I went to a yoga class and I
Mm-hmm.
loved it. And I've liked movement. Like, I used to do dance when I was younger. I've liked movement kind of classes for a long time. And I was like, okay, I want to do more of this. But then instantly my mind's like, right, so I need to do a bit more. And then I'm going to train up so that I can be a yoga instructor. And then I'm going to run my own classes and retreats where I'm going to do yoga for everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm literally, I like come up with this full business plan of how I'm going to monetize my
Yeah.
new yoga
Yeah.
hobby. And my husband always says to me, like, not like some things you can just do because, like, you can
Yeah.
just, sometimes it's not worth the stress and the fact that I might not enjoy
Oh, yeah.
teaching it. If I enjoy going, he said to me, like, there is nothing wrong with you spending your time going there for enjoyment and for yourself and for your own
Mm-hmm.
benefits. You don't need to turn it
Yeah.
into something that you can achieve and that you can like
Yes.
make it into something more. Like, it's okay to just do things because you like it. I
Yeah.
was like, I know that sounds obvious, but it's almost like
That's so true.
I'm always thinking about, if I'm doing something, I have to become the best at it. I have to climb up
Yeah.
the ladder, whatever that ladder
Yeah,
may be in
yeah, yeah,
any
yeah, yeah.
industry.
Yeah, kind of like it is that boss babe mentality,
Yeah.
right? It's
Mhm.
like I just
Yeah.
need to do this to be here and then to show that I can do
Mhm.
it and I am a boss babe. Whatever it is that you're
Mhm.
doing, right?
Yeah.
If you're in a
Yeah.
job that it doesn't allow you to be a boss babe, it's just like, oh, but I can do this other thing and then
Yeah. Yeah.
which in a way I think the boss babe thing is great, kind of like taking the female power right? And
Mm-hmm.
not just let
Mm-hmm.
man run most of businesses and things like that. It's good
Mm-hmm.
that we're there, but also
Yeah.
I think we took it too literal, and it's
Yeah.
like it's not doing us good, right? Because
Yeah.
one of the things that I was looking at the other day as I was scrolling through TikTok, as I do very often, and I should stop doing, to be honest, is one of those like follow me around or whatever. This is what I do. I wake up at 5. At 5:05 I do this. At 5:30 I do this. Sometimes I'm thinking, I'm already tired from seeing this. Why do we need to do so many things? Why do we have a checklist that we need to follow? Why, if you
Mm-hmm.
don't do these certain things, that means that you are not accomplished or you are
Yeah.
not taking advantage of your day, or I don't know, of things like that. Why do we have a checklist
Mm-hmm.
that we need to do that is not like a general checklist? It's like a checklist with time and minutes, hours and minutes
Mm-hmm.
that we
Yeah.
need to do things.
I've actually been, I can't remember what I watched it on, but I've watched a couple of different videos where it like picks apart these videos. And the fact of the matter is that most of them are just not even filmed when they say they are. So like
It's
there's
impossible,
there's
right?
examples of certain influencers where it's like they in the day that they show they've got their nails done halfway through the day, but then if you go back and watch the whole video, their nail color switching from the color before to the color after through the whole
Yeah,
sequence, which means that
yeah,
they filmed it over several days and then they put
yeah,
together everything like
yeah.
it was all one really productive day, which yes, like I think there's an element of yes, it's content and it's supposed to be entertaining and they're trying to
Hmm.
paint this picture and be aspirational. And I suppose we're supposed to know that that's not necessarily real. We're
Yeah.
supposed to just know that. However, it does push that like toxic
Mm.
mentality that you
Yes.
should be doing all of those things
Yeah.
every day to be
Yeah.
successful. And this is where I think listening to your own happiness is so important that I mentioned earlier, because if it doesn't make you happy to get up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
and have
Why?
done your workout and everything by 7 a.m., then just don't do it. That's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, as we were talking about in the episode last week, we're slowly seeing more people showing up the reality of things and not that much like the
Hmm.
polished version and all of this checklist and
Hmm.
stuff. But I feel like because there is so many people pushing now this checklist that we had already ingrained in us since little, right? Because we had to do so many
Hmm.
things. We had to plan everything because if you don't plan everything, how are you gonna, achieve everything that you're supposed to achieve? It scares me that the generations coming are gonna end up being burned out as well, just because they feel like they
Hmm.
need to do all of
Yeah.
these things, right? Let's see another one of the questions that we've put because I think they were quite interesting ones and quite fun ones. So let me see. What's one thing hustle culture made you believe you had to do by 30, right? So we get like have my dream career locked in.
Hmm.
Yes. How are you going to have your dream career, already in it by 30 when sometimes you don't even know what you want to study? Or maybe
Yeah.
whatever you study doesn't even get you to the job that you thought you wanted.
Yeah. Or you just change your mind,
Or you change your
that's
mind.
okay
Exactly.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Get a high management position, have a house, be married, have at least one kid by 30. Yeah, those kind of expectations. And then,
Hmm.
yeah, everything. We had to do everything. And then by 30, your life is over. You can kind of
Yeah.
like live the rest of your life, right?
Yeah.
It's just too much, too much. There's another question that we put in the chats like, when did you first realize you were burned out, not just tired, but mentally drained? When I could never switch off and things that should be enjoyable became basically not enjoyable anymore, just stressful.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
mean, you're talking to my soul right now.
Yeah, I like there is a time where I think like the things that I used to enjoy about my day, like the pockets, it's kind of like what I was saying as well about the activities that I might want to do for fun. As
Mm-hmm.
soon as I've made that into something where I'm like putting an expectation on myself, it's like now I'm trying to have a bit of a health kick. I'm like doing more exercise and stuff. If I was really strict on what I had to do, then that would turn that into just another stressful part of my day for me. Whereas like I'll go out running and it doesn't matter to me how far I run or how
Yeah.
fast I run, or if I walk a lot of it and run some of it. It's about like doing it to feel good. And I
Mm-hmm.
think as soon as you go into that burnout and you're like, it's almost once you get like hyper focused on all these goals and I'm going to achieve this and that, and you
Yeah.
give yourself an unrealistic structure of how you're going to achieve everything that you actually can't physically keep
Mm.
up with. And then even the things that are supposed to be like the stuff that's good for you, makes you feel good, just don't feel good anymore.
Yeah. And do you feel like there are certain things that we have achieved or certain things that we've preached, right? Of that we've showed to
Hmm.
either that being online or not online, just to your family or whatever. And then something happens, you're not able to do them anymore. Or that's the thing, like you don't enjoy them anymore. They become stressful.
Hmm.
It
Yeah.
stresses you more because you feel like you have to do it because you have basically either made your whole identity about it or you've preached so much about it that you are like, oh wow, now I am not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think, who is it? There's somebody, you might know. There's somebody that was in pageantry and won a really big title, and then she wrote a book about finding herself without the crown, like
Oh.
rediscovering her identity. I'll have to have a look who it was.
Is
But
it
I think
like a
that's a good
big,
example
like a
of it.
main pageant? It's like an international
Yeah,
thing. Is it Demi?
yeah,
Is the Miss Universe Demi?
it might be. I think it
Like
might
South
have been a Miss
Africa?
Universe. Yeah,
I don't know.
it could be. Yeah. But one of them did write a book about it, and I think that's a really good example of that, because I think it's just important to say generally as well, it's okay to change your mind or to change your viewpoint on
Yeah.
things. And just because you've been doing one thing, or some, like you were saying, I feel like one, saying you're going to do something, it's okay to change your mind and not want to do it anymore. Or even if you've been preaching something, pushing a particular thing that you were
Mm-hmm.
really passionate about for a long time, and then decide that it no longer aligns with who you are, that's okay as well. We're allowed to evolve and to change, and I think it's taken away that pressure of like thinking what are other people going to think. Is
Mm-hmm.
it, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
worrying, how are other people going to take this or perceive this if
Yeah.
I change my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've got to live for yourself.
Exactly. I think we still care too much about what other people think. And I know that we are, as we reach our 30s, like mid 30s and stuff, we're still kind of like thinking different, right? I think our
Hmm.
mindset starts changing. But I think
Hmm.
really deep down, we have not yet
Hmm.
break from that people pleasing, right? We're doing it
Yeah.
slowly. And I think we need to make a bigger effort to do that.
Hmm.
And as you said,
Yeah.
like try to live more of a slower life without having to be out every weekend and doing things all the time and seeing friends every
Hmm.
weekend. I think it's okay to say no to plans from time to time because you need
Yeah.
to. We don't have to be everywhere and do everything
Yeah.
because we've been there, done that. Was not great
Yeah.
for us. Was not great for my hair.
Yeah.
It kept falling. So it's not great for our health. So we need to be okay with missing out because I think we have a lot of FOMO still.
Yeah.
FOMO was
And I
invented
think,
by millennials.
yeah, well, there we go. We've done it all to ourselves. We really just only have ourselves to blame.
Yeah. No, well, yes. Yeah. I say 50% of the blame is the previous generation trying
Yeah.
to put certain things on that. But
Hmm.
the other 50% is certainly our
Yeah.
own fault. So we need to make an effort to break out of that.
Yeah. And I
Do we have?
think, just leading on from what we were saying, I think it's just really important as well to always put other people not first, but always think about other people in all situations. But that it's not okay to consistently put people ahead of yourself.
Yes,
So
that's important.
I think, yeah, and it's something like, I'm saying this, but it's definitely not something I always practice. But sometimes I'll worry about, if I don't get this done today, then that person's not going to be happy
Hmm.
or whatever. But
Hmm.
actually, if I'm not in a position to do it today and it's going to make me burn out, or this can apply
Hmm.
to work or anything, like a manager's expecting something or a team member's
Yeah.
expecting something from you,
Yeah.
and you think of them first and the fact that they need it to do whatever they need to do, and you're going to be letting them down if you don't do it or whatever.
Mhm.
Sometimes we have to just take care of
Uh,
ourselves. And
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think through life you realize that you need to think of you
Yeah.
first, because that's what we all should be doing.
That's such a great point, because I'm just like, now that you're saying this and I'm thinking, right? I always thought like, yeah, why am I behaving like this? I mean, at work, why am I doing all of this
Hmm.
and acting
Hmm.
like it's my company? Like if I don't do something, the
Yeah.
company's gonna,
Hmm.
dismantle and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, the people that own those companies, they are not that like they're not that stressed. They are not
Yeah.
thinking about all of that, because obviously they're relying on us to do the work,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, it's like, well, let's do what we can do within the time that we have.
Hmm.
If we have too much, then let's, and we are not able to rearrange priorities and rearrange our workload properly, let's ask for help from someone else that might have an
Hmm.
outside perspective and might help us to do that. That's what I always try to do with my teams, right? But there are times that I forget about this, and then I'm just
Hmm.
like doing 1,000 things myself without asking for
Hmm.
help. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking that, yes, it's my company, I need to do all of this. And I'm like, well, no, it's not. I will have millions in my bank if that was the case. So
Yeah.
yes, we should put ourselves first sometimes too. Good point,
Yeah.
Justin.
And just making it, just like saying to people, like sometimes someone's expecting something from me on a certain day, and just really I would be, working myself into the ground to be able to deliver that, or it's going to really throw off my work life balance, because it's going
Mm-hmm.
to mean that I'm going to have to
Yeah.
work right into the evening when I'm supposed to be spending time with my daughter, which may not seem a big deal one day, but if you set that precedent and continue to do that, then that's
Yes.
impacting your work life balance always. So
Mm-hmm.
I've now come to the point where if I need to, even if it makes me really uncomfortable, I will contact somebody and say, look, realistically, I'm going to struggle for this deadline that we've
Mm-hmm.
set.
Mm-hmm.
Is it okay if we push it a few days? It gives me a bit more time to do it. And actually, you'll be surprised that most people are fine with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
more like the pressure we put on ourselves,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. And I mean, I think what you said about the work life balance is very important, because nowadays women don't really stop working to take care of the
Hmm.
kids, right? So we
Yeah.
have a job, we have the kids as well. So it's very important that we try to keep that balance. And, if you don't have kids still, we need to make sure that we have that balance, because we need to
Yeah.
be mentally okay to then continue performing the way that
Yeah.
we want to perform. And obviously, our job and everything like that, if you're self employed and everything like that, that company that you're working for or your company performs the way that you want, right? Should we
Yeah.
go through the last two questions?
Yes.
Okay, get us through them.
Okay, so the next one is, what's one habit you've adopted in your 30s to recover from burnout?
Oh,
And then I
that's good.
can't see the rest of it, or I think that must be pretty much the whole thing.
From burnout, or set better boundaries.
So, say no more often and staying home on weekends, which is 100% something that we've talked about and are trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
And learning that you can't please everyone. Started listening to my own needs, which again,
What we have just talked about. Perfect.
yes, a really similar one. So I think those are really important, and I think it's having a consciously being aware of those every day as well, because it's very
Mm-hmm.
easy to just forget about those and fall
Forget.
into the trap. And I think it's just you have to really remind yourself every day
Yeah.
to do those things.
It's going to be a constant battle, right?
Yeah.
We're going to be doing
Yeah.
great sometimes and then not sometimes. So
Yeah.
make sure that if you have friends and you see them coming back into the pattern, let them know, hey, you're back to it. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah. I think, yeah, it is just difficult, isn't it? It's difficult to not fall into that. And sometimes it's difficult to spot within yourself when you're doing it
Yeah.
as well. So definitely to spot in other people. Okay, complete the sentence. I thought success meant blank, but now I know it means blank. So we've got paychecks. So I thought success meant paychecks, but now I know success means emotional and psychological safety surrounded by my special people, which I think is a really nice one.
Yeah, that's really nice. Who wrote us? Who sent that?
It was from Rachel.
Oh,
Yeah.
very nice.
So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I definitely agree with that one. And then we had another similar one, so high salary and now I know it means slow life, which again is a quite similar one to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then status. So I thought success meant status, but now I know it means peace, balance, and a quiet life, which again is fairly
Yeah.
similar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there must be something to it, like you said, maybe what we were pushed to do from a young age, or maybe even within schools, what they pushed on towards, and the whole like path
Mm-hmm.
to university and all of that
Yeah.
stuff. But I do feel like there's almost like this ideal life that is
Yeah.
developed in your mind, which is like
Yeah.
this job where you like this high flying. I don't maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
from films we saw when we were young. I don't know. There's obviously like a bit of picture built of
Possibly.
this. But then I think, yeah, definitely for me, the older I get, the more I think like I think I've said this before, but I work part time now, and for me it's like I want to work less as long as I earn enough money to pay to live,
Mm-hmm.
then I
Yeah.
would rather work less, have more time to actually live my life and to spend with the
Mm-hmm.
people that I care about. And I'm not bothered about like for me, I'm not bothered about a bigger house or if
Mm-hmm.
anything, at some point when I've actually decluttered everything, I would love to downsize to
Yeah.
like a little cottage is my
Yeah.
ideal
Yeah.
scenario.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Because like, like as you said, like those are the things that we have always made to aspire to, right? And
Mhm.
we were making fun of these eat, pray, love people that
Mhm.
they don't care where they live. They are just happy by having
Mhm.
like a home, and they are happy by, like planting their own food and collecting them and
Mhm.
eating and all of blah 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 blah. But truthfully is having a bigger house and like a huge house, for example, doesn't mean that you're going to be happier. On the other hand,
No.
is a bigger mortgage, more
Mhm.
space to clean, more
Mhm.
space to collect junk, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, I think I would be happy with something smaller as long as I just
Yeah.
have a nice place to live that feels like
Yeah.
home,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's not the way that I thought 10 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're almost, it's like the rat race, isn't it? The famous old rat race. I feel like from young, we're like taught to be in the rat race. I remember seeing like YouTube videos of, because influencers were becoming a thing
Of
when we were
course.
younger and stuff. And I would watch YouTubers who had handbag hauls where they'd show their designer handbags that they
Hmm.
bought. And I remember at a time thinking like, oh, one day I'm going to be like really successful businesswoman and be in a good corporate
Yeah.
business job and I'll be able to buy myself a designer handbag. I mean, realistically, and each to their own, but I couldn't care less about having a designer handbag. I've never
Mm.
been a handbag person. It doesn't really
No.
appeal to me. Like, I like to have a nice looking
Mhm.
clothes and bags, but I've never been someone who aspires to
Yeah.
like a designer bag.
Yeah.
But at one point, I had
That's
that in
what
my
you
head,
wanted.
thinking like, oh, that's like a marker of success when I get to the point where I can buy myself a designer handbag.
Yes. Yeah. I
Which,
mean,
when I look at actually what I want, that's not something I want at all.
exactly. I mean, that's one of the reasons that I have a YouTube channel, and it was growing
Mhm.
so much. I got to 30,000
Mhm.
subscribers. And
Yeah.
then I stopped doing videos
Mhm.
on YouTube because I was like, well, I'm not having all the things that I should be having to make these videos. I don't
Mhm.
have anything interesting to show. What is
Mhm.
people gonna want to do and look at? I cannot be
Mhm.
spending money every weekend to do a whole of
Yeah.
makeup or a whole of this and a whole of that.
Mhm.
What am I gonna do, right?
Yeah.
That was like by the time that I turned 30 and then my mindset started changing and things like that. But
Mhm.
I was that before in my 20s, exactly like that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm doing this and I'm doing that and this is what I want. And when
Mhm.
I have my first big paycheck, I'm just gonna buy a pair of Louboutins or a
Yeah.
Michael Kors
Exactly.
bag or things like that, And yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like that's what we were surrounded by. And that's even now, that's still the same, isn't it? There's still, when you think of like the Love
Mm,
Island, the people that come out of Love Island and then they get all the brand deals and then they're
yeah.
promoting all of the stuff that they buy and stuff like that. And I mean, obviously there's a place for all of this stuff. And
Hmm.
if you're somebody who like loves fashion and you're really into clothes and you like to buy certain expensive
Mm-hmm.
pieces of clothing or handbags or whatever, that's totally fine. But I think it's just reflecting on yourself, and is it coming from you? Like, is that something that
Mm-hmm.
you want, or that
Yeah.
you think you want because of what you've been shown? And I
Yeah.
think that's where you've got to make sure that that's genuinely what you want.
Yeah. I mean, I believe like at the end of the day, true success is being truly happy. And when I say truly happy, it's
Mm-hmm.
like truly happy and content
Mm-hmm.
with your life and the way you're living it, and without
Mm-hmm.
having any stress at
Yeah.
all. Kind of like feeling good, grounded, and
Yeah.
grateful and happy with what you have, which I feel is so hard to get
Mm-hmm.
in today's
Yeah.
society.
Yeah. When I was out in Ibiza on holiday, there was like there was like some stones that came out into the sea from the beach. And I walked down there on my own on one day when we'd been there with my family. And I was just like on the rocks and there was nobody around. And I just like closed my eyes and I was breathing and I was just like listening to the sea and stuff. And I was just like, oh, like
Peace.
there's some like just being here. This is so
Yeah.
cheesy, but just like being here, right?
Yeah.
is is an amazing thing. Just like being here, the fact
Mm-hmm.
that some people aren't here, some people don't get to have a
Yeah.
life at all, some people,
Mm-hmm.
just actually being here and just being able to experience life is an amazing thing. And I think we can lose track of that, and we all do it. So it's not like,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't me preaching that
Yeah.
people should be grateful to be here, because I forget all the time.
I do too.
uh, but I think it's sometimes just important to be like, yeah, just being here, um,
Yes.
no
Yeah.
matter what you have, as long as you have obviously a roof over your head. And some people don't even have those things. I mean, we should just
I
be
know.
grateful for just
I
being here and
know.
having the things that we have, right? But it's
Mm-hmm.
hard to see that when you're there living it.
Well, I think we have discussed how we are the burnout generation, and it's time for us to say goodbye because I think we could be speaking about this for hours. But again, as I said, I'm still in
Yes.
Spain and I'm holding my parents
Oh
hostage from the
yes,
room.
yes, yes, yes.
So maybe once I'm back in the
Um,
UK, we can do 2 hour episodes.
yes. Well, we actually shouldn't get burnt out, so
True.
we should be having boundaries. And it's now bedtime.
It is indeed, especially for my parents. So, thank you so much for everybody that has been listening to this episode and for all of you that listen to our podcast on a weekly basis. We also want to remind you that we would like you to vote for us for the British Podcast Awards. So, we will put a link in the description of this podcast so you can vote for us. The only thing that you need to do is search for Females Striving Over 30, click on our podcast photo, enter your details, and then confirm in your email that is going to arrive to your inbox or junk, because mine went into my junk, and confirm the vote so we can be recognized for the work that we're doing with this podcast and hopefully get more visibility to be able to help more women. And please also don't forget to follow on our socials on Instagram and TikTok at Females Striving Over 30. So see you on the next episode.
Good
Bye.
night.